Welcome all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture. I'm Maria Kądzielska, your host for tonight, and we are still talking about art and design. Here with us is Paweł Jasiewicz, an artist, designer, and also an author of an exhibition in the Institute of Industrial Design in Warsaw. Thank you very much for coming.
Hello.
Sir, we have those objects behind us, but it's always good to know the story and the idea behind them, of course, in watching it. So, as I understand, it's retrospective, so it shows your projects and your pieces of art from many years. How did it change, and what was the biggest part? What we can see basically here?
We can see summary of 10 years work, and the exhibition is divided on different sections, if I can say. Some works are new, some works are old. Behind you we can see some posters with work which I couldn't show here because they are sold already. That person should start to see exhibition from the middle, because it is like a main part of that what I want to show and how I developed my work. Most of this.
So what do we see in the middle, basically? So those are the objects that are toys or pieces of wood? What are they?
Some of them are toys, some of them no. That piece is what you can see there. I made it in Japan during my three months residency, where I stayed in small cottage, lived 8 meters from the river. I went there for one reason. I wanted to work with the cedar wood, Japanese cedar, and I started to develop some idea about how to show meaning of water in the wood.
Okay, water in the wood. So
yes.
Japan, how, if I would say, very sophisticated culture with specializing in details, and I would say minimalistic also in the design, because they are usually not very flashy. But so how did it all influence you? And
I made objects which are aesthetic, without specific function, that you can do something, that you can sit on it or cut. There are just objects to watch it. I have learned in Japan that I can design an object which are aesthetic, and it is the main function. I met there fantastic people, fantastic carpenters, and I learned about 2 techniques. For example, Yosegi Muku or Yosegi Zaiku. Yosegi Muku, it is the way of gluing small bits of timber. And then, for example, you can take this solid timber and turn on the lathe, and then you will have like a specific pattern on the wood. Yosegi Zaiku, it's more like a Japanese way of making marquetry, that you can glue different species, different types of timber, and then slice it, and you will achieve very nice, beautiful ornament on.
I see. So it's like you put different types of timber, so there are different colors as well,
Yeah.
and you can create a pattern.
Okay. Yes.
And then it's put on a furniture or somewhere, and it can be beautiful in everyday use.
Yes, but I designed small figurines, like fishes, some birds. You know, I designed them because I was surrounded by the nature, by koi, by some birds, and you have to try to imagine really small cottage surrounded by small bushes of bamboos,
A river.
And I spent there just 3 months, nearly without seeing people, and I was like a monk, just thinking and making, okay? And the water is everywhere. And I developed some lamps. It is a development of properties of cedar veneer, which you can fold it as a paper, as a origami. It is not about bending. If you take a veneer and bend, If you take a normal veneer, you can just bend, right?
Yes.
And achieve nice curve. But with that veneer, you can fold it. You see, as
So
a
it's-
paper, and doesn't break.
Oh,
And it is.
interesting. So it's the same like with origami, basically. So
Yeah.
it doesn't.
And it was
And it's wood.
modification. Yeah, it is wood, but it's modified wood in some way.
I see. So that's what you've learned there in Japan.
Yep.
Very beautiful. I would say that's probably the word for this was happening there. There was your experience of Japan, which you brought here back to Poland.
Yes, and then I started to develop other objects, like toys where you can change heads and change shape of the toy. Okay, it is a toy for children, but it is a toy for parents, I think, more, because it is a very aesthetic object which you want to buy for children, but you want to buy also for yourself and keep it on the shelf, because it's made of it is made in this technique Yosegimoku. I made the same objects. I know that I am not allowed to do it, but I want to. Just take it.
Yes,
Okay?
okay.
Do you see? It is a cedar wood.
Yes, very light. That's
It
not,
is large.
yes.
Okay? Large. It is a European species, which is very heavy.
Yes.
Has a lot of resin inside. I designed it.
With this, definitely you can kill someone.
Yes. But also it is like a beautiful object.
Okay.
Look at the grain and how the shape is.
Yes, it melts.
Yeah, exactly. In Poland, I made the same objects what I designed it and made it in
Japan.
in Japan, but in different species.
I see.
And I developed Barnet, like the same bird in the Barnet spruce or in ceramic or porcelain, because I wanted to understand what I can do and how I can, and what I can do with the wood, and how I can achieve the grain on different materials. But also, it is, as I gave you, for this exhibition, I made these mobiles,
yes.
birds, and it is a development of Japanese, of lamps which I designed in Japan, but it is just made it this year. And you can see here like some panels, like wooden panels, which looks more like a water. With that panels, I close that stage of Japan.
And we'll talk more about the next stage in the next episode. Here you can see how many things you can do with wood, how thin it can be, almost like paper, but still wood, so something very different. If you are truly interested, come and watch an exhibition, because it might be a first step to buy something to your own apartment. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily.